Tonight's broadcast is brought to you through the sponsorship of the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zoom's, home of the Sub Club and the Bubba Club deal. By Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in Denby Medical Center. By your Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, never an overtime charge. And by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Kecoughtan. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, and we welcome you to sun-drenched Darling Stadium for this annual battle between Hampton High School and the Kecoughtan Warriors. Bob, we have been looking forward to this game as we always do every year. You've got a 39-2 record for Ronald Curry in his existence here at Hampton, a 28-game win streak last year. Final doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because when these two teams get on the field tonight, it's a new ball game all over.
It really is, and one of the only two losses that Ronald Curry has is to this Kecoughtan team. But the key tonight is going to be who's going to be able to have an offensive line that's going to step up. Kurt Newsom hasn't got a lot of depth. He's got some young kids in there. I talked to Danny Mitchell. Danny says, I got 4 and 5 guards and tackles, both offensive and defense. He said, I got more depth than I've ever had, and I don't lose a whole lot when I substitute. So maybe that'll be a key to the game where they will be able to wear down the other team. But the Kecoughtan figures they can beat Hampton. And how you beat Hampton is you don't let them get the ball. Right? You keep the ball out of Curry's hand.
That's easier said than done. And, you know, when I thought about this game and what we were going to talk about tonight, I came up with more questions than I have answers. The questions I have is a young Hampton team, a young offensive line, a team that doesn't have Ahmad Hawkins, doesn't have Smith at the running back, doesn't have some of the experience it's had before. Is this going to be the same kind of caliber that we saw last year when Hampton was so dominant? The other question I have is all this hype with Ronald Curry, Bobby Blizzard, Hollier. Is this going to play on their minds? Are they going to be focused on this game? I know they can tell us they are, but, you know, it's got to be somewhat of a distraction.
It absolutely. But to answer your first question, which was
the youth.
The youth on this team. And I tell you, Hampton's team is not the same team they had last year, nor is Kecoughtan the same team they had last year. Both had great programs. Both went into playoffs. Hampton went on to win the state championship. They are not the same teams. Don't expect the same caliber of play, especially early on in the season as they develop. And as you know and I know, Hampton always peaks towards the end of the season. They always peak when it's playoff time, when it really counts to get into the playoffs and get into the state championship. On the other hand, you look at all this hype about going to UVA, going up last night to the ball game. Yeah, that's got to affect the kids. I mean, it affect me, for criminy sakes. I talked to Mike earlier about that, and he says they slept up on the way up, they slept on the way back, probably got more sleep than they'd have stayed if they'd have stayed home. So you figure 2 hours up, 2 hours back, they got 4 hours of sleep. But it still works on the mind. Ronald Curry is probably one of the most adult thinkers I've ever seen on the football field. How all this affects him on the football field, I don't know. We'll see tonight.
It didn't seem to affect him previously. He's had a lot of this hype. I mean, let's face it, anyone who's followed the Peninsula District football, and in particular Ronald Curry since his freshman season, knows that this kid has had all this attention and has never missed a beat. The kid has come out every single time and has gotten the job done. Phenomenal player. And the only question I have left is, can he possibly live up to the standard that he set before?
Well, you know, he's going to go out and play the game. He reminds me of a great chess player that plays 3 or 4 moves ahead, already knows if I do this, he's going to do that. And I know Ronald Curry plays football like that. He knows that if I run this, defense is going to do this. If I do this, the defense is going to. So I know what I have to do to counter that. The one thing that hurt Hampton last year and made the game so close is they played on a 90-yard field, and Kecoughtan probably played on a 50-yard 50-yard field because of the kicking. Kecoughtan's kicking game last year was great. Kept Hampton in the hole. And Kurt Newsom said to me, we got to keep Hampton away from the big plays. Don't let Curry run the ball back on a punt. Don't let him intercept it and run it in. Don't let him throw the long pass. If we can keep the big plays away, and they've only had one big play against Kecoughtan in the last 3 years. So, that's something to consider too, because Hampton kind of just breaks the spirit of the other team because how quick they can score, as you and I have seen in the past 3 years.
Well, saying again, don't let them have that big play and don't let them do that is a whole lot easier than actually doing it. Because last year, the quotes you just said, those were the same quotes we heard from every coach that played Hampton last year. You got to keep the ball away from Curry. You got to keep the big play. But they go out and they score 75 points against a good team. Yeah.
Well, seeing a lot of the teams now are looking at Hampton because they're very successful. I was talking to Coach Smith, and he said Matt Boone, who used to coach at Denby, he said, Matt, what are you going to run this week? He says, whatever you are, Coach, because he knows Mike Smith is very successful. So you have to take into the equation the coaches on both of these staffs. They're both excellent coaches. They're going to prepare these young men. Kecoughtan has been able to prepare for Hampton since the end of last year. Hampton has only had a week to prepare for Kecoughtan because they had to play last week. So we'll see.
Well, there's a lot of things we will see, and it should be a great ball game. We look forward to this every year. Hampton has only been played closely by one team in the last 3 years, and that's their opponent tonight. There's a saying going around the peninsula, if you're going to catch Hampton, catch them early in the season, because as you said, Bob, they don't get anything but better and better and better. Now, you had a chance to talk to the Quaalude kids here before we're going to go back in time right now. Bob had a chance to talk to both head coach Kurt Newsom of Kecoughtan and head coach Mike Smith of Hampton, and they did a great job of complimenting each other. Watch this. We'll be right back.
I have coaches Smith and Newsom with me, and Kurt, you always play Mike tough, and you told me the other day you do a lot of things similar.
Well, I mean, as much success as they've had doing those things, we're not afraid to copy it. I mean, and anybody that's, they've won 260 or 70 games since Coach Smith's been there. So, we've used a lot of the things that they do, and that may have had something to do with it. I mean, we've just been fortunate the last few years to play close with them.
Well, and I know that both of you have lost play, especially on the line, have lost some good linemen.
We're struggling up there right now, but hopefully by mid-season they'll be better and where they need to be, and they're getting better each day, and hopefully they'll be good tonight.
Well, it's always a good rival between you two because you've known each other for a long time, and Kurt has helped you occasionally. Does he take any secrets away?
Well, I think Kurt does a great job studying film, and he's like all the rest of us. I think, you're going to take those things that you can work into your program, those things that are successful. And I think probably over the years, the 30-some years, and, I'm getting old, but all those years I've been out there on the field, I think Kurt will tell you the same thing. The success you get is going to be the things that you learn on the practice field. You can't, and someone's been successful and learned those things, you find out what'll work and what don't, and we try to do that thing. But they do a great job studying the film and preparation. They're great in preparing for the games. And, of course, that's where games are won. They won on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not on Friday and Saturday.
Right. Now, also know that you've got a good weight program going on, as both coaches do. And how does that weight program give the commitment to the football season?
Well, I think the biggest thing with weight's a psychological thing, probably, and then, preventing injuries. I think that's more important than anything else. Probably the strength in the legs, is the biggest thing, preventing knee injuries. Upper body strength, of course, is a factor with linemen, but you don't want to go to the point to lose the quickness. So we feel like it's more of a mental thing, and I think Kurt will agree with that. It's more mental than it is physical in that.
And you agree with that?
Yeah, exactly what he just said. And they have to be somewhere together, and it's those little things. But I think it's definitely psychological. But having them all at one place on time where they're supposed to be, and I think that's the time they find out how you'd like them to act, and they respond to that, and all those type of things.
Well, I tell you, both of you guys have done a great job with both programs. You went to the playoffs last year. Of course, you're repeating as the state champion, and that means now everybody is gunning for you.
Well, that's all right. You know, that's good. I'd rather be there and them not know who we were. But, you know, whether we had success or not, I think we've got a natural rival, you know. We've got all these kids know each other, and they played together when they were young, but it's a good, hard, clean, competitive ball game. That's what it should be, you know, when it fill these stands up. I'd like to do it every week. I wouldn't like to get beat, but I'd like to play games like that every week.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be a great game tonight, and I know you've got some young people that will step up and do the things that you want them to do tonight.
We're excited. I mean, anytime you get to play the best team in the state, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think our kids, you know, in the locker room, it's a lot different going in there now as it would be going in there and playing a program that wasn't as successful as Hampton.
Right. Well, good luck to both of you tonight. And stay tuned for the starting lineups.
The first quarter of action tonight is brought to you by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Also on staff are Brian Wood and John Ware. By Zooms, where the deal is the Bubba Club Special. When you buy 4 fountain drinks, the 5th one is free.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Dr. Bruce Fuller, now located in the Denby Medical Center, with Saturday hours available. By your Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. And by Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. See the zebras for tonight's game.
Oh, that's our
right
buddy in the middle.
There is Mike the Mike McCula. And the officials for tonight's game, Mick McCullough is the referee. The umpire is Don Klemensick. Tom Chisman will be the linesman. The line judge, Gary Roby. Ron Boyd is the field judge, and Ray Sperrier is the back judge. And I think we added a little extra letter to Mr. Sperrier's name. There's no E in the first part of that name.
Well, while we got a chance before we do, let me recognize the coaches for both of these teams. Of course, the head coach of the Hampton Crabbers is Mike Smith, assisted by Danny Mitchell, Alvis Mann, Lanny Franklin, Tony Spruill, Tony Carlson, Kenneth Gilliam, Shannon Smith, Adolph Hawkins, Ken Kaplan, Michael Carter, and Kevin Carter. And on the Kecoughtan side, Kirk Newsom is the head coach, assisted by Revis Conrad, a slimmed-down Revis Conrad, Brian Hebert, John Quillen, Al Morrow, Jason Robinson, Dan Thompson, Scott Woodleaf, and Becky Younger is a trainer, and of course a trainer for the Crabbers is Diane Limerick.
Well, the crowd is still filing in here. As I look out to the parking lot over to our right, there is a throng of several hundred people still trying to get in, and we are moments away from kickoff.
Well, and I don't know where they're going to sit. There's no extra stands in the end zones. It's a shame because what a game, but these people that don't get a chance to get in, Tim, all they have to do is turn in Channel 5 tomorrow night. See a great game.
And if they're watching us, they know that, don't they? All right, we've got the captains of the teams, or at least the representatives thereof, meeting at the center of the field. Let's listen in and see if we can pick up the toss of the coin ceremonies.
And number 2, Javon Fuller. Your officials for this evening's game. The umpire is Dan Klemensick. The linesman, Tom Chisman. The line judge, Gary Roby. The field judge, Ron Boyd. And the back judge, Ray Sparks. Your referee for this evening's game, Mr. Mick McCullough.
Well, we're having some difficulty getting the audio from the referee, Mick McCullough, but we'll tell you that the Warriors have won the toss and will receive. They will be going from our left to our right. And, of course, it's not difficult to tell which team is which. Kecoughtan is the home team for this game, and they're in the solid green uniforms with the white numerals. And the Hampton Crabbers visitors tonight across the field.
Hey, did you see the referees get in their little group and say, okay, fellas, let's call a good game, and let's hope we don't have too many whistles tonight. But I tell you, the excitement in the stands, Tim, is just unbelievable. There are, I look over on the other side, the Hampton side, I don't see any open area except where the band is going to seat. And on this side, same thing. And there are hundreds out there.
And that's the way it should be. All right, as we get set for the kickoff, the game time temperature in the mid-70s, a low humidity, a night that's supposed to see the temperature drop into the 60s before this game is over with. So as I've always wanted to say, it's a perfect night for football.
Perfect. We've had some that's been rainy and hot and whatever, but you're right, for a first game, great weather, great conditions. Looking forward to a good contest.
As the ball teed up, deep back for the Kecoughtan Warriors to receive is Carlton Morant, number 21. We are just moments away from the kickoff to a hugely important game to both of these teams. Moonrong has the foot at it, and we are underway. It's a short kick taken by one of the up men, mishandled at the 18-yard line. But he picks it up and is down at the 20. That is number 6, Antonio Palmer, the junior, who had a little difficulty fielding the ball.
Well, you know, he wasn't really expecting it. He thought it was going to be down the middle, but Hampton always will kick high and short. Not going to let you get a chance to run it back. Ball just across the 20, right where Hampton would love to have Kecoughtan start. A long field. They got 80 yards to go, and that's what Hampton wants.
All right, we'll give you the starting lineups for each squad in just a moment. At quarterback, number 2, Jovan Quillen for the Kecoughtan Warriors, the senior signal caller. He gives on the initial handoff to Chuck Forte, the fullback, picks up a couple of yards.
Tim, he was coming right up the middle, and two people hit him, Jarrett Green and Darnell Hollier.
Here's your lineup. The offense, the center is McCrary. The guards are Rogers and Budden. Eusner and St. John are the tackles for Kecoughtan. Give you the rest of that lineup after this next play. Receivers split now. Jackson to the near side. And Dunlap to the far side. Out of the I formation. Short drop. Flag down. Completes the pass to Dunlap. He's out across the 35. It's going to be 33-yard line. Enough for a first down, but a penalty flag on the play. Let's finish those lineups for you, if we may. There you see it. The tight end is Brown. The split end, Dunlap. Haggard is the fullback. Forte is... Flanker, excuse me. The Forte is the fullback. The tailback is Morant. And as we mentioned, the quarterback is Quillen. We've got a penalty flag, which will wipe out what was a first down for the Warriors. And they'll mark off a penalty against Kecoughtan.
Well, that may have been called at the line of scrimmage. Quillen will change the play. Dunlop was open. Great throw. That's a tough throw for a high school quarterback. That long sideline pass. First guy missed the tackle. But as you see right there, he picked up the yardage he needed for the first down, but no go.
Illegal shift. The penalty against Kecoughtan. It's second down and 15 at the 15. Quillen on the draw play. Gives to the fullback, Forte. Forte struggles for about 3 yards out close to the 20. Let's mark it at about the 19-yard line. Here are the Crabbers on defense. The guards are Man and Ware. Southern and Green are the tackles, and boy, that Green is a good one. Blizzard, another good one at the end, along with Marquise Hamilton. That is most of the starters on defense. Here are the rest of them for you. For the Crabbers, Hollier and Harris are the linebackers. Curry and Zarif are the corners, and Ronald Curry. Almondo Curry is the number 2, and number 1, of course, Ronald Curry. Now we got a timeout called.
That's by the Kecoughtan Warriors. There was something they didn't like, Tim. You got a third and long. We will see one thing tonight with Morant moving from fullback to tailback. They're going to try to get him the ball more. But the coaching staff real high on this Forte, the young man playing the fullback spot. They're real high on him. But you're saying you're right, but they've got defense for the Crabbers. They've got some people that really step up. But Danny Mitchell told me you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of different players in there playing the guards and the tackle positions. And that gives Hampton a chance to build some experience with these younger players.
And you're talking about seeing a lot of people there. If we get a pullback shot of both sides of this field, you will see that, as it should be, this game is a packed house.
And just Jimmy Haggard, and he's got his headset on, probably listening to us. He's the...
All right, back to the live action now. Third down and about 12. Quillen back to pass. Green was rushing, couldn't get to him. The ball up for grabs, and it's caught by Dunlap on the deflection. No! They say
hit
no.
The ground first or what? Dad? I thought that was close to being a caught ball. That was number 15 for the Crabbers, Akeem Zarif. Batted the ball. You don't want to bat it up. You want to bat it down. And Kecoughtan almost came up with a big play, but now this will bring up a 4th down. And Newsom is hot.
Well, it looked like a catch. How was it not a catch?
I don't know, unless when he was coming down, the ball bounced out of his hands.
It must have. I mean, the officials did not hesitate. And
he was right on the spot.
He's got his hands in the air. What's the call? Why not a reception? And I had the same question. We'll see if we have that for you. In any event, the officials ruled it incomplete as 4th down and 12 for the Warriors. They are in deep punt formation. Little or no rush. The kick is a low bounder, and it's going to take a nice Kecoughtan roll. They will down it at the 43 of Hampton, so there will be no return. And again, Heritage High School last week kicked to Ronald Curry and paid dearly for doing so, as they were on the short end of a 48-6 defeat at the hands of the state champion.
Was that Marshall Haggard, number 4, was doing the punting? That's what I picked up, was Marshall Haggard, number 4, was back there, I thought.
I think you might be right. I'm not sure. But at any rate, we don't have, at least not yet, that play that went incomplete. Okay, we do not have it for you. Apologize for that. However, back to the live action. 10:08 remaining in the scoreless first quarter. Initial play from offense for the Hampton Crabbers. That is Jermaine Crawford.
No, that was number 11, Tim.
I'm sorry. Not Crawford, but in fact Gunter. Alfonso Gunter, who was just a sophomore, 6'2", 193-pound sophomore, just a growing boy. Gain on the play of a couple of yards out across the 45 to the 46. It'll be 2nd down and about 8. Scoreboard says 6, but that's a 2-yard gain, not a 4.
Shotgun.
And we're going to get a flag now, as we've had some motion on both sides of the ball. Let's see how they call this one. 4 12-minute quarters in high school football, if you're not familiar with that. We have
somebody lined up in the neutral zone.
On the offense, which is an unusual call. Lined up offsides. So one of those first game jitters that you see sometimes.
Yes.
From the shotgun, Curry on the quarterback draw. He's got yardage across the 50 to the 45, and that will be enough for a 1st down. If I can ask Scotty, our already return here in the booth is non-existent at this point.
Ask Scotty which place this thing goes into down here to make sure it's right. It's this one.
First one. 1st down at the Kecoughtan 45. Curry on the draw play. And this is Crawford. And Crawford is inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line.
Maybe that's what happened there, because we're getting the flash across the box. So
here's your replay on the draw. This is Crawford coming right at you. He puts his head down and picks up some more yardage, but he gets a 1st down at the Kecoughtan 26-yard line. Out of the I formation. Give to Gunter, and Gunter powers his way across the 25 to about the 23.
Well, he went all the way down to the 20, Tim. He didn't stop running.
He squirted away from a tackler. They did not wrap him up, and you're absolutely right. He picked up all the way to the 20-yard line, a gain of 6.
Well, Tim, when you said he was 23, he picked up 2 more yards by himself, just him and the tackler. And how big is that young man? He's 193 pounds, 6'2", and he's going to get stronger and bigger.
Double receivers to the near side out of the I formation. 2nd down and about 3 for the Crabbers. This is Crawford, right side. Crawford wrapped up as he crosses the 20 to about the 18-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of a 1st down. In a scoreless first quarter, this game videotaped for your enjoyment on the 5th of September, or September as we usually call it, 1997. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Bob Killen coming to you from a packed house at Darling Stadium. Boy, that looks great. And look out there, first quarter's underway, and there's still hundreds of people trying to get in. Got to get here early, folks.
And Tim, they're just standing along the fence on the far side. They can't even find a place to sit. And around the...
They'll be wrapped around this field completely by the time we're through. So it's third down and a long yard for the Crabbers. 7:22 remaining in the first quarter. Out of the wishbone. Interesting formation. Over the middle, complete to Bobby Blizzard. He will score.
Well, we got a flag, probably holding in the backfield.
Illegal motion is the call. So that penalty will wipe out the touchdown. That will not count. But that was a pretty play from Ronald Curry to Bobby Blizzard.
So they were back in that shotgun offense again, what gives Curry a chance to really look over that defense. And also what happened, watch this, how much time he has, and there was, by Blizzard, just a hesitation and across the middle.
And I'll tell you what I think the penalty was. It looked like Crawford moved early. It looked like he was a half a step ahead of the snap of the ball.
What a great pass and catch by the two UVA
signees.
Well, they haven't signed, committed. Verbal commitment. They can't sign until November, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think till November, and they don't have to sign until February.
February, maybe that's what it is.
All right, so it's third down. Instead of a touchdown, it's third down at about 7. Curry back to pass. Over the middle, almost picked off as Almondo Curry was the intended receiver. And it was knocked away at the last second by the Kecoughtan Warriors. Looked like it was number 22 who got a hand on it. That would have been Sean McInnes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He did get a hand on it because Muffin Curry ran a good pattern, was behind the receiver, but Kecoughtan did a great job. That's the big penalty that hurt the Hampton. That took a touchdown away from them. Great pressure that time on Ronald Curry. Kecoughtan had 2 or 3 players in his face when he made that throw, and now he's going back underneath the center.
And on fourth down, the Crabbers are going for it. 4th and 7. Curry rolling, wants to run with the ball, looks to the outside, and he gets the first down inside the 10, still on his feet, inside the 10.
Did you see that spin?
Till about the 8-yard line. That's what all the hype is about, folks.
Well, Tim, I thought for sure he was going to cut back to the center of the field, as I think a lot of people did. He just did a 360. Watch
nice
this.
Little pirouette. That starts as a rollout. I think this was a running play basically from the very beginning.
Well, he looked like he wanted to pass right now. Watch this move.
So on a 4th and 7, they get all the way down inside the 8-yard line. 1st and goal for the Hampton Crabbers. Out of the I formation, split receivers. Handoff goes to Jermaine Crawford, and he is stacked up at about the 6. In on the stop, amongst others, was number 3, Keith Mann for Kecoughtan.
Keith Mann played a lot last year, playing that linebacker spot, 5'10", 185 junior. The coaching staff over at Kecoughtan real tickled with their weight program. They said it really gives these young men a chance to step up and get some confidence. And he said they've had some 5 or 6 seniors have been with them since freshmen that have stepped up into the leadership role, which you hope your seniors would do.
2nd and goal. This is Crawford again, this time the left side, and he gets inside the 5 to about the 3. In on the stop this time for the Warriors was number 5, and that is Purvis Tillery.
And Purvis Tillery, his dad played basketball and football for me when I coached over at Sims Junior High School a few years ago. It was junior high then, it's no longer junior high.
There you see the great trust, Mike Smith and his coaching staff and players on the far side of the field. Mentioned earlier that Hampton is the visitor tonight. Of course, both of these teams call this a home field. And we've got Marlon Hicks in the backfield early. Now, the only question will be, did he get pulled off or did he jump?
Yeah, good point.
It is encroachment, and it is against Kecoughtan. So that'll be half the distance to the goal line. It'll still remain third down.
Looks like what, about the yard and a half.
We apologize. We're having some difficulty with referee Makula's mic.
Well, it looks like it's coming through our box because our box is moving, so I don't know what the deal is. Well,
third down and goal.
Mick is probably too excited.
And this is Curry on the quarterback keeper. He did not get in. Good job by the right defensive side of Kecoughtan. Curry just tried to go over the left guard, and they stacked it up nicely. Off the bottom of that pack was number 1, Patrick Mills.
And David Button was another one in there, Tim. He's 6'2", 228. Good size young man. They really plugged up that side. 75 is the other one in there. That's Terrence Davis. And we're going to have a timeout by the Crabbers, it looks like.
Hampton will, in fact, call a timeout with a 4th and goal with less than a yard. How many times in the last 3 years have we seen a goal line stand be the determining factor at the conclusion of one of these games? Because that's what's happened the last 2 years. Kecoughtan last year denied at the last play of the game. The year before, Hampton the same.
Well, and the year before that, it was in overtime. Curry won it in his first touchdown in overtime.
So far in the first quarter, Curry has run the ball 3 times for 25 yards, and Crawford 4 carries for 26 yards. So the Hampton Crabbers quarterback and tailback accounting for better than 50 yards of offense in the first quarter.
And they started where about around the 40 somewhere?
Right around the 40. So the timeout over with 4:37 remaining here in a scoreless first quarter. Each team has had the ball 1 time, and each team has yet to score.
I'll tell you what they won't run. They won't run the option play. Mike Smith with that UVA game last year, he told Kurt, he says, you can bet your dollar when we get down there on the end zone, we're not going to pitch it.
Well, what they can count on is Ronald Curry once again, this time sneaking over that same spot he tried a moment ago. And Curry scores the touchdown to give Hampton a lead, the 1-yard plunge on the left side.
Well, Tim, if you figure, he picked up almost a yard and a half the time before. So it's just who's going to control the line of scrimmage. And if you can control and get that initial surge, you're going to pick up a couple, 3 yards anyway. And that's all you needed was a less than a yard, as we have the young man
Jimmy Boonrong on to try the extra point, and he is perfect with it. And the Crabbers, with 4:33 remaining in the first quarter, have taken a 7-0 lead.
That young man just kicked the ball. 5'5", Tim, 121. In one of the scrimmage games, one of the guys that after he kicked off came and hit him, last week, one of the opposing players hit him, and he jumped up and said, yeah, I like to get hit.
There you saw just a quick look at the replay of that quarterback keeper. Ronald Curry taking it the final yard for the touchdown. Curry, of course, had 5 touchdowns last week in that victory over the Heritage team. A one-man gang, if you will.
Well, but that drive was not one man.
Oh, no.
You was telling me earlier the Crawford kid picked up half of the yardage. So
spread it around.
It's not just a one-man team.
No question about it. They will tell you that emphatically. It is a shame that through just the luck of the draw, these 2 teams who arguably are the best 2 teams on the peninsula have to play each other early in the season. But you know what? You got to play sooner or later. What's the difference? You got a full house on a perfect night for football. It couldn't get much better than this.
And what's really neat about it is these 2 teams, either one could lose, and they could both end up in the state championship because one's Division 6, one's Division 5.
And we will get into that. Division 5 is the smaller schools, which Hampton is in Division 5. Kecoughtan, on the other hand, is Division 6. And last year, Kecoughtan went all the way to the state semifinals. Hampton, of course, repeated as Division 5 state champions. Boonrong's kick, again, a short one, fielded at the 25-yard line. looking to get to the near sideline and turn the corner. Does so, but not before he is driven out of bounds at the 33-yard line. That was Keith Mann, number 3, returning the kick.
Well, he got a little more yardage than they started off before at the 20, so then now looks like they got about 13 more yards up the field. Give them a little confidence.
Kecoughtan 33-yard line where the Warriors will put the ball in play, 1st and 10.
So Jovan Quillen will bring the Kecoughtan Warriors to the line. He'll have the same starting backfield he started with. That's Chuck Forte and the tailback, Carlton Morant. Out of the eye, the handoff to Morant. Morant is slowed down and then is stopped short of the line of scrimmage.
And knifing through there was Jared Green. Got a hold of him, slowed him down. Couldn't throw him for a loss, but great job of penetration by Green over there playing that tackle position for the Crabbers. And his brother, Donnie, had a great game last night as his first contest with UVA. He was a redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore. He was a freshman last year. So his first full year last night.
Quillen rolling out, wants to take the ball and run with it, and boy, is collared just as he gets a couple of yards. Looked like he might get more than that, but out of nowhere he was horse-collared to the ground.
And that was William Harris, Tim, number 60, a linebacker, 5'10", 186 senior. Really came close quick on Quillen that time. Jovan, good ball player, good runner, a good running quarterback, and can throw the ball decent.
37-yard line is where they mark it.
Well, Tim, it looks like what, another 3rd and long, at least 6.
Probably closer to 7. Let's call it 3rd down and a long 6 or a short 7, whichever is your preference. Dunlap comes to the near side as the wide receiver.
Well, he's being covered by Alfonso.
And that one was almost picked off. Bobby Blizzard would have gone coast to coast.
They wouldn't have caught him.
He would have had a head of steam. He's just upset with himself.
And his defensive position, Tim, on a pass play is supposed to drop back into the flat, and that's exactly what he did. Look at that.
Well, you know what? It looked like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And if we could watch that again real quickly, I think you might see that somebody got a hand on that just as Quillen let go of it.
That could be. I was watching more where.
Yep, see, someone did get a hand on it.
It was too. Oh, you eagle eye already.
Eagle eye, gotcha. All right, the left-footed kicker. That is Marshall Haggard. You're absolutely right. He is the punter tonight.
Well, and they're probably using him because he doesn't punt it as far. He puts a different spin on the ball. A left-handed or left-footed kicker will put a different spin on the ball, and he's kicking it out of bounds. We're not going to let Mr. Curry get the ball and run it back.
I think that's a given that Ronald Curry's punt return expertise will not be on display tonight, and it'll be through no lack of his effort. In any event, the Crabbers get it back after the Kecoughtan punt. They'll have good field position. Ball just shy of the Hampton 40-yard line. 2:45 remaining in the first quarter, and Hampton leading by the score of 7-0.
Well, they have Blizzard split out to the left.
On the draw play. And this is
number 44. Is that Monago?
44, that is William Monago. He is a sophomore, 5'9", 180-pound fullback.
And they're high on this young man. They expect him to step up and do a good job this year.
The scoring drive, 4 minutes and 51 seconds in 10 plays, aided by 2 penalties. Curry, the final 1-yard run, and Boonrong with the extra point.
Well, and let's take one of those penalties off because Hampton also had a penalty against them, so they got to cancel one of those penalties.
Right. A cancellation. 2nd and 8. Curry back, has some time, throws. He throws long and almost picked off, as that was not a good throw, and the defender on the play had a real good shot at it. That was number 12, Kiko Richmond, who is a senior safety, and he got a better shot at it than the intended receiver.
Well, Kiko was where he should have been. The ball would have been a little higher, a little further. I think Bobby Blizzard would have, if it was been a jump ball situation, he would have come down with it. But Kiko got a hold of it. Brings up 3rd and long for the Crabbers.
Stops the clock with 1 second less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Curry gets away from a would-be tackler, tries to turn the corner, gets to the 50 to the 45, upended at the 42-yard line, but that'll be more than enough for a first down.
Did you see number 2, Muffin Curry, throw a great block on Brian Hart? Had a bead on him. And Ronald Curry kind of gave his body up there, too.
Well, we're seeing here on the replay, he's going to come right at you.
Now watch number 2 right there. Boom.
Oh, Curry.
There, you tell me there's not some hitting going on?
Hit high, hit low, and Curry just bounded right back like he had been hit by nothing. I understand that Curry had a real deep thigh bruise from some basketball that he was playing this past summer. And if he does, that would have aggravated it, but no sign of that. 41-yard line, first down for the Crabbers. Curry back to pass, got Blizzard open at the 30. The would-be tackler just bounces off of Big Bobby, and Bobby picks up 4 more yards.
Oh!
Bobby Blizzard is
exciting when he gets the ball.
He is a load, and that was Jovan Quillen who tried to tackle him high, and Quillen will not try to do that a second time.
I tell you, if you're going to tackle Bobby Blizzard, you get him around the ankles, he's going to come down. But if you hit him up high, you're going to bounce off, and he's going to pick up 5 more yards. Great pass and catch that time.
Enough for another Hampton first down at the 25-yard line. Ronald Curry connecting to Bobby Blizzard. The two of them announced headed for UVA next year.
Along with Darnell Hollier.
On the delay.
There goes Muffin.
Muffin Curry, touchdown. That'll be a 25-yarder. Any penalty flags? I don't see any.
Great draw play. Great draw play. Everybody thought it was going to be a pass, including the other team. Muffin Curry, what a nice run. Usually plays wide out. Who does that remind you of? How about last year?
Maud Hawkins, who had some playing time last night with the Cavaliers. So the Crabbers, 25-yard scamper on the delay handoff to Muffin Curry. And by the way, he'll also hold on the extra point try by Boonron. The kick is up, nearly blocked, and it's just enough to get through.
Oh, just got to get it through. Hey, we got a shot of that thing. And this is one thing, at 14-0, this is what Kurt Newsom was worried about, is letting Hampton get ahead too soon. Watch your score. Right here. Nice move by Armando. Watch this move right here.
Oh, he played a beautiful
set up the block by Darnell Hollier.
Didn't even need the block, as it turned out. All he did was just leave his would-be tackler in his dust, high stepping it into the end zone. So Muffin is in the game. No question about that. That was Darnell Hollier who met him. That was 2 minutes and 23 seconds, 5 plays. Ronald Curry from 25 yards out. And of course, Boonron's extra point makes it 14-0.
And you know, what really concerned Kurt Newsom was letting Kecoughtan, or letting Hampton get a lead, because they're a hard team to come back on. Because as the game goes on, they're going to be playing with more and more confidence.
So the Crabbers, the machine looking to be intact, the big red machine, if you will. 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter, but the Crabbers have scored on their last 2 possessions.
Jimmy Boomerang tickles me. He kicks off from the left hash mark one time, the right hash mark. This time said, no, I'm going to put it in the middle. Kecoughtan don't know where the ball's going to go.
Variety. And again, a relatively short kick fielded at the 22-yard line. Same receiver as last time. Keith Mann faced around and tackled back at the 19.
By number 77, Jim. Raymond Mann. 6'2", 215 sophomore.
So with a little more than a half a minute to go in the first quarter. Kecoughtan will try and get on track offensively. They'll start from their 19-yard line. A negative return on that play of 2 yards as in an effort to try to get some blocking, Keith Mann cost himself some yardage. Now we've got an official stoppage of play for equipment problems on Armando Curry. That's
well, he ran out of his helmet last time with all.
Right.
Oh, what a move that he made down there at the end. I mean, he really didn't need the block, but he did set up the blocker perfect. Some of the moves he learned on the basketball court, I'm sure.
I'm telling you, I can't wait for basketball season as
let's savor the football season for a while.
You're right. All right, we're back to the action here. This is Morant, and Morant is tripped up by Bobby Blizzard along with Darnell Hollier as he crosses the 20 to about the 21-yard line, a gain of a pair.
The first guy got his hand on him was Raymond Mann, deep in the backfield, got him stumbling. Good job again by Raymond Mann. Again, just a sophomore, Tim. Young man is 6'2", 215. Coaching staff are real high. Danny Mitchell is real high on his guards and tackles. He says he's got 4, 5, 6 kids that can go, and all of them can play.
All right, so that is the end of the first 12 minutes of action, and our score after one quarter, the Hampton Crabbers 14, the Kecoughtan Warriors no score. This quarter of the Game of the Week is made possible through the following: the Good Hands people, your All-State agents Robert Mann and James Hudson. By Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Also by Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center. And by Zooms, join the Sub Club. Buy 4, and the 5th one is free.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Kecoughtan. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
As the second quarter's about set to
And
get
Tim, they've got the whole field surrounded, and they're still trying to get in. You're right. We got I think, a tremendous year for football this year. We got 10 games we're going to do, not just 6. We're going to do a game of the week. You and I know are just ecstatic about it.
We are, and we're going to get a chance to see some of, as we watch Muffin Curry's touchdown late in the first quarter. But we're going to get a chance to see some of the Newport News schools playing Hampton City schools.
In fact, we're going to have Warwick, Denby, Minchville, and Woodside, the 4 out of Newport News, so that's good.
In the first quarter, Hampton passing the ball. Curry 1 of 3 for the Crabbers, and he rushed 13. The Hampton Crabbers rushed 13 times for 105 yards. Kecoughtan did not complete a pass.
Oh, nice job by Jovan Quillen. Boy, that was a design quarterback rollout. No pass intended that time.
16 yards
in front of him.
16 yards passing for Hampton. Kecoughtan, on the other hand, ran the ball just 5 times for a total of 6 yards in the first quarter. So the Warriors get good field position on the fine return.
And there was a little bit of sloppy tackling that time by the Crabbers.
Those first game sloppy tackle. I'm telling you, you want to catch Hampton. If you want to catch them, get them early. They don't do anything but get better and better as the season progresses. This is Morant, Carlton Morant.
Hit by Adam Lively, Tim. The young man plays center. I'm taking you there. I'm watching Adam.
Finish, okay? But you're right, Adam Lively got him as he crossed the 46, halfway between the 46 and the 47. So a gain of about 1.5 yards. Let's call it second down and a long 8.
And Adam takes a breather because he does play every offensive down. I tell you, it's been a tremendous asset to Ronald Curry to have the same center 4 years. That's very seldom happens.
Second down for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Quillen, short drop, wants to throw. Incomplete, almost picked off. Coming up quickly on the defensive play was Muffin Curry. That's Armando Curry. And those of you that may not know Curry, that is his nickname, and he almost exclusively goes by that name, so we will use that nickname with his permission, I hope. Incomplete pass, almost picked off, and take a third down now and a long 8 for Kecoughtan. Really almost need to answer with something here rather soon because it's going to get tougher and tougher.
Well, it really is. And again, I look for another quarterback rollout because it worked so well last time.
Fumble on the snap, and Quillen.
Oh, that hurts you.
Just did well just to keep the ball. So it'll be 4th down and about 8 as they just barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
That really hurts you because you don't even have a chance to pick up the first down. You're just lucky you can get the ball back. And again, another punting situation, and let's see if he's going to use Marshall Haggard, which he is. And of course, we saw Jimmy Haggard earlier on the screen. That's his son. Jimmy, of course, is the chairman of the Hampton School Board.
So Curry is the lone deep back for the Crabbers, and again, it'll be a surprise to most everyone here if he gets a chance. He does, in fact, get a chance to field it and returns it for about 7 or 8 yards.
But you notice when they're kicking it that you don't have any place to run but out of bounds.
That's right. Well, that's one thing. If you use the sideline, you've talked about this before. You use the sideline as part of your defender.
Absolutely.
You can cut him down that way, but some people. Ronald Curry is the kind of guy that would take a couple of steps forward, reverse his field, and go all the way across the field just to avoid a tackle.
And end up scoring.
That was a 9-yard return. Didn't seem like it was but a 3 or 4, but because of Curry's quickness, it was in fact a 9-yard return to the 38-yard line where the Crabbers have it first down. They lead 14-0 with 9:54 left here in the first half.
Well, one of the differences in tonight's game so far is Hampton has not punted. Kecoughtan has, 3 times?
Yep. This is Jermaine Crawford, and Crawford struggles to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play.
Well, I'm impressed with this Crawford kid, Tim. He just keeps working. He's nothing real fancy about him. He just keeps working at it, and does a good job.
Is he related to Kenny Crawford?
I believe they're brothers. Don't hold me to that, but
we'll check on that and see.
Yeah, I think so.
Kenny Crawford, of course, a great performer in his seasons with the Crabbers. Blizzard, the intended receiver, the ball just out of his reach. And at 6'6", 250, it's hard to overthrow Bobby Blizzard. So that stops the clock with 9:13 to go in the half. 3rd down and 7 for the Crabbers. A reminder, we were talking about our 10-game schedule. Next week, we'll be right back here next Friday night when these same Kecoughtan Warriors will take on Bill D's Phoebus Phantoms. We'll hopefully see you out here for that game.
Oh, and to tell you, it's going to be some great games this year.
Curry, by the way, just 1 of 4 for 16 yards here in the first half. And now Ronald Curry looks over the defense and decides he does not like the defense for the play he's called, and he calls the Hampton Crabbers' 2nd timeout of their 3 that is allotted in each half. So the Crabbers will go across the field and discuss the situation with the coaching staff, as will the Kecoughtan Warriors to the near side of the field.
Well, I just noticed my wife left number 5 off, and she says, "You get what you pay for."
Well, I noticed that earlier, but never being one to complain.
Well, Ruth, he's the one to complain.
You were kind enough to give me the starting lineup beforehand, so I knew about the number 5. Kecoughtan will play Phoebus next Friday night here. We invite you to come out to Darling Stadium to watch the game in person. Support your favorite team, and then get a chance to watch it when we replay it right here on Channel 5. We got a overflow crowd here at Darling Stadium. Has to be in the neighborhood of 9,000 people for tonight's game, and quite frankly, they should have the same number of people here next Friday night when Phoebus and Kecoughtan tangle at Darling Stadium. Great family entertainment. It's something you can take your family to and thoroughly enjoy.
You got that right.
All right, the ball is marked just across the 40-yard line. It's third down and about 7.5 for the Crabbers. Out of the I formation, Curry fakes the draw, now fakes the pass, steps up and gets the first down, runs across the 50 to the Kecoughtan 48-yard line where he'll have another Hampton first down.
And just that fake, and then that pump fake freezes the defensive back and the linebackers that are playing in the hook zones and the flats, and it opened right up just like a quarterback draw. Now, I don't know if that was a called play or what, but the execution is what you like.
I think probably, and I'm speaking out of turn, I have nothing to base this on, but I think Curry has that option. I think it's just kind of a look and see if something's open, and if they give you the run, Curry will get you the yardage. Out of the shotgun, Curry on the quarterback draw, gets a block, nice block on the right side. A late flag goes down as he has another first down for the Crabbers, but we'll have to see who the penalty is against.
Looked like it might be against Hampton. Maybe it was a illegal block. Yeah, that's what it's clipped.
So the penalty will wipe out the first down for Ronald Curry. Infraction occurred about 5 yards from where the ball was finally placed on the field. And they'll mark it off.
From the point of the infraction too, Tim, not from the line of scrimmage.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the Hampton 42-yard line, and it makes it first down. And let's see, about 20. Need to get all the way down to the Kecoughtan 39, and they're at the Hampton 42. So that's what, 8 and another 11, about 19. Third down, first down at about 19. And now penalty flag comes in. We got the delay of the game. So the Crabbers took too much time. So some mental errors occurring here along with some other type of penalties. So they back up the Crabbers 5 more yards and make it first and 24.
Well, any other team, I would say that's really going to hurt you. But Hampton could pick up 20 yards in a clip.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah, wasn't even thinking that way. You're right.
Four penalties for 30 yards here in the first half. The Crabbers show the same play. This is a shotgun snap right to Curry, and Curry across midfield to the 45 to the 43. Gains almost all of that penalty yardage back and brings up second down and about 5. So Ronald Curry showing his running expertise as he lost a shoe. Looks like he'll probably get it back on in time to get the next play away as the plays come in from the far sideline from head coach Mike Smith.
Well, but Curry does have the option of changing it at the line of scrimmage, and he's been able to do that since he's been a freshman. Curry is the first quarterback to start for Hampton High School under Mike Smith that was not a junior. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, 19 yards on the carry by Curry. Second down, and let's call it 5. On the draw play, this is Muffin Curry, his cousin, and he gets a couple of yards down close to the 42-yard line.
Well,
That'll bring up third down.
Excuse me, Keith Mann, and I don't know if he's any relation to Raymond Mann on the Crabbers, but Keith Mann doing a good job out there, number 3, run from that linebacker spot. He's 5'10", 185 junior. But he has been in a lot of defensive plays for the Warriors. They play a 4-4. They have 4 down linemen, and then they have 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside linebackers.
Third down and 3 for the Crabbers. On the play action, Ronald Curry wants to go long. He's got a man open, and he just threw behind him a little bit. That was Marquise Higgins wearing a very familiar number, Mr. Ahmad Hawkins, number 9 from last year. But the ball goes incomplete.
And he's just a sophomore.
And we'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the first half after this brief timeout.
This is WHCS Cable TV 5, Hampton, Virginia.
While we were away, the Hampton Crabbers called their third and final timeout with 6:21 remaining in the first half. And they have a 4th down and 3 at the Kecoughtan 42-yard line.
Well, Tim, you're in a situation where if you don't pick up the first down, Kecoughtan gets great field position. In fact, the best field position they've had to start a drive this evening. So, you know, you have a lot of confidence in your offensive line and the running ability of Ronald Curry. You know, hey, you go for it, right? Defense have been playing good.
Curry, 8 carries unofficially here in the first half for 78 yards. Just 1 of 5 in the passing department, though, for 16 yards. So it's not been nearly as prolific as he can be with the passing. Curry rolling, looking, throws, has Bobby Blizzard, got it. First down inside the 25-yard line.
And that's confidence, Tim, because he could have picked up the first down if he'd have kept the ball. But he saw Blizzard open and knows he's got good hands. Nice soft touch on that pass. Watch this pass, good touch. Rolling to his left. Tough pass for any right-handed quarterback. I don't care who you are.
26-yard line is where they marked the ball. A first down for the Crabbers. So on 4th and 3, they are able to convert and keep the drive alive. Double wide receivers to the near side. This is Muffin Curry. They've got a kind of a screen on this near side. It gets a couple of yards.
That's exactly what it was. It was a wide out screen or a flanker screen, hoping Muffin could get out there one-on-one, make some moves and pick up some yardage. Kecoughtan did a good job that time of defending that play. Hampton picked up what, maybe 4 yards, 3 yards?
Let's call it 4. On the stop, Jovan Quillen and Keith Mann doing a good job of, as you said, defending that play quite well.
Well, I'm impressed with Keith Mann just playing outstanding tonight for the Warriors.
Out of the eye. Curry, quick handoff up the middle. Across the 20 to about the 18-yard line. That was on the carry. That was number 11, Gunter. Alfonso Gunter Jr., just a sophomore. Again, the Crabbers just keep bringing on these running backs. Crawford and Gunter in the eye behind Ronald Curry. 3rd down and 3 on the option. The pitch to Crawford, and Crawford turns it inside close to the first down, depending on where they mark the ball.
It's the first time we've seen that option tonight.
Yep. Hampton has thrown a dozen different sets and alignments at the Kecoughtan Warriors. I mean, they really are mixing it up. They'll be out of the eye. They'll go to a split back. They're showing all kinds of different formations, and it's got to be tough to defend.
Well, it really is, but again, Kecoughtan knows what Hampton's going to run. It's just getting your people prepared that your defense will pick up what keys they need to pick up. But right now, Kecoughtan looks like they're back on their heels a little bit defensively, and that's not what you want. You want that offensive line to charge and get a good surge and put the offense in a disadvantage. And right now, Hampton is winning the line of scrimmage.
4th and less than a yard as the Crabbers come up a little shy on the first down attempt. Curry over the center. And he'll give to Darnell Hollier, who picks up a first down inside the 15 at the 13. So that's the first time we've seen Hollier running out of that flanker position.
Goal line, Raymond. Well, he lined up in the backfield that time, didn't he?
Yep, sure did.
And he'll run the ball. These young men are very versatile, as we saw. Watch the handoff here, but we saw Muffin Curry in the backfield, and now we've seen, and he's still in it, Darnell Hollier's at the tailback spot.
And he gets the call again and is stacked up after a short gain. But the Crabbers, you know, what they're doing, of course, is controlling the ball. They're doing what Kecoughtan wanted to do, and that was to control the ball. Hampton is wearing down that Kecoughtan defense with these long drives.
Well, you're right. This is something that Kecoughtan wanted to do, is keep the ball out of Hampton's hand, but it's reversed tonight. Hampton is not scoring on long drives. They're eating up the clock.
And this is a young defensive line out there for the Warriors. In the end zone, Bobby Blizzard did not make the grab. A late flag comes down.
And we got a holding by the Crabbers.
And it's going to be illegal use of the hands against Hampton. So the Warriors will have the option of taking the play or the penalty. It happened well after the play, after the ball was thrown. We won't see it, but there was a instant flag thrown in the backfield to indicate the illegal use of hands by the referee Makula.
Well, that brings the ball back to what, about the 23 it looks like, right? Yeah.
So that penalty keeps the down the same at second down, but instead of second and short, it'll be second and 20. Buff and Curry and Blizzard to the near side. Again, I formation behind Curry. Curry rolls to his left, looks in the corner of the end zone, and we had a lot of contact. The late flag comes down, interestingly, from the trailing official. The Crabbers complaining they don't realize that a penalty flag has already been thrown. And that looked like a little more than incidental contact between the defender and the offensive player. See if you can pick it up here on the replay. You just saw the very end of it. The intended receiver, number 10,
Jay Brown,
and he was held or at least interfered with. See what the call is.
But it's not from the point of the foul. It's going to come back and be marked off from the line of scrimmage, and perhaps half the distance, which that will not make it a first down.
It'll be real close. It may be an automatic first down.
You can see the whole thing being stacked up against the Kecoughtan Warriors.
And that's what it is. It's an automatic first down. So they move the ball down to the 11-yard line, and now Kecoughtan will call a timeout as Kurt Newsom has gone out on the field, and I think
he's not headed for his team, is he?
No, he's not. He's headed for the officials to discuss that play. And again, Kurt very much respected by the officials in the Peninsula District. It goes back to that old understanding that if you don't always complain, the officials tend to listen to you when you do complain. And if you're constantly haranguing the officials, then, you know, when you really have a case,
is
like,
this from experience, Tim?
Yeah, I know all about that stuff. But Kurt is there talking about that play with the officials. And I like that idea that the officials will, during a timeout, listen to the coach. And, of course, if the coach gets too carried away and gets abusive, he can pay another penalty for that.
Sometimes officials don't look for that coach, Tim.
Yeah, you're right, Scott.
Our statistician, Bob, over here says Hampton is controlling the ball, which is what Kecoughtan wanted to do. And I told him we already talked about that a little early. He's about 3 plays behind us.
Well, that's he's been known to be 3 plays behind.
But fortunately, his statistics are with us up to the minute.
Well, usually he's 3 plays behind on the golf course, which is really not where you want to be behind.
You don't want to behind him. You don't want to be behind him either.
Oh, I tell you, I ducked one day.
All right, after the penalty, it is a first down. It'll be a 1st and 10 at the 11. So the Crabbers can, in fact, get another first down without scoring. Curry tripped up as he had intended to do the quarterback draw, and in on the stop was Purvis Tillery, number 5, to stop him in his tracks, and that doesn't happen often.
Well, that was a great job by Tillery that time, coming off of the inside linebacker, shot the gap, got Ron Curry. Only place you're going to make him stop running, and that's around the ankles.
So a loss on the play of 2. Second down and 12 at the 14. Ronald Curry gives on the right side. This is Gunter. Gunter's driven to the ground on the tail end of that play. He gets down to the 5.
Gunter, 6'2", 195, sophomore. They're high on this young man. He took a hit there at the end, didn't he?
Here's your replay. You watch for yourself from the ground level. He knocked a couple of Warriors down, and right here, he is going to make some heavy contact.
I did. That's Marlon Hicks coming in. Woo.
Yeah, but that
Hicks will hit you.
But that was a fine drive by Gunter. You could see those legs churning, and he did not stop moving his legs until he was on the ground. Third down and about 3. And the Crabbers risked a quarterback sneak, trying to go forward for the first down. It'll be very close depending on where they mark the ball.
Well, they're not giving him the first down. He's looks like about a yard shy.
So they mark the ball at the 3.5, and they need to get to about the 2.5 for a first down. So they will look over to the sideline. The Crabbers have used all of their timeouts, so they cannot stop the clock here to discuss this play. And the play will come in from the sideline in the form of Darnell Collier.
And Tim, with a minute to go in the first half, guess who gets the ball to start the second half?
And well, this is going to cost them 5 because it took so long. Now Mike Smith on the far sidelines think that was a quick whistle. But instead of 4th and a yard, now it'll be 4th and 6. And they didn't seem to take an inordinate amount of time to decide what they were going to do.
All right, pass. Hey, roll.
Once that ball is spotted and ready for play, the time clock, the game clock rather, I'll get it right yet. The clock for the play clock starts. This is early. First game of the season.
Let me see your teeth. It's something in front of your eye.
You can't send a waveform. You've got to get them fitted.
There you go.
So the Crabbers still going for it with a minute and 2 seconds remaining in the first half. And they lead 14-0. All of the scoring coming in the first quarter. Ronald Curry with plenty of time. Now gets it away, but it will be completed for a loss out to the 12-yard line. So the Crabbers are held by a good defensive stand by the Warriors. You know Kurt Newsom will play on that at halftime.
Well, that's got to give them a little bit of confidence coming out of the second half, but you're going to be on defense again as Curry throws the ball to Monago. But I really believe Curry's knees were down when he threw the ball.
I think you're right. In any event, it's of no major consequence as the Warriors will take over on down at their 11-yard line. And I would think that they'll be more than content just to run the clock out here. And now they haven't got our ducks in a row here, so they'll take their second time, or check that, their third time out of the first half. So with that many seconds of time remaining on the clock, Warriors will take their final timeout. And if you joined us late, we'll tell you that the Crabbers did all their scoring in the first quarter, and they have held Kecoughtan, if I understand Bob's statistics correctly, to 1 first down in the first half. That's correct.
Well, that was on that Jovan Quillen carried that ball around the left side. That was the only first down he got. He picked up probably about 18, 20 yards on that carry.
To recap the scoring for you real briefly, the Ronald Curry show with the 1-yard run made it 6-0. Boonrong put the extra point on the board. It made it 7-0. That came with 4:33 remaining in the first quarter. And then with 41 seconds remaining, Almondo Curry on the handoff from his cousin Ronald went 25 yards to make it 13-0. Boonrong added the extra point, and that's where we stand with 53 seconds remaining in the first half as Jovan Quillen runs the ball off of left tackle to about the 15-yard line. And the Warriors, again, as I had suspected, will just be more than content to get into the locker room down only 14-0, still very much in this ball game.
Well, Hampton had the ball 3 times and scored twice.
Half a minute to go. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain by Quillen. And again, Quillen taking no chances here of losing a handoff, simply carries the ball, and that will be the last play of the first half, as both teams have used all their timeouts, and the Warriors perfectly content to let the last 8 seconds wear off the clock. So the overflow crowd here at Darling Stadium has seen the Hampton Crabbers put a pair of touchdowns on the board, and we have reached halftime, and our score after 24 minutes of action, the Hampton Crabbers 14, the Kecoughtan Warriors no score. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the 3rd quarter of action after this brief timeout. The 4th quarter of the Channel 5 Game of the Week is brought to you through sponsorship of the following: Zoom's, home of the Bubba Club and the Sub Club, where you buy the 4th and the 5th one is free. By the Good Hands people, your Allstate agents Robert Mann and James Hudson. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Also by Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center.
When getting up a print job, call Gear Up.
And by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Call Mark or Kenny. They service and install most brands.
A player of the game will be selected from each team tonight. Those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving, located in Hampton, and DC Engraving, located at Tab Center in Yorktown. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Kecoughtan. They carry a full line of individual team supplies and can meet all your screen printing needs.
I'm a thorn between 2 Bobs here. Is that a rose between 2 Bobs? Is that right?
You're a thorn between 2 roses.
For the Kecoughtan Warriors, in the first half, they rushed 10 times for 44 yards. Carlton Morant had 4 of those carries for 28 yards. They did not complete a pass and only had 1 first down. They were penalized 3 times for a total of 22 yards. For the Hampton Crabbers in the first half, they rushed 25 times for 167 yards. Ronald Curry was 4 out of 8 for 33 yards. Total offense unofficially 200 yards in the first half. They had 11 first downs. Ronald Curry ran 10 times for 83 yards and passed those 4 of 8 for 33 with no interceptions. He personally accounted for 116 yards running and passing. Bobby Blizzard was his leading receiver with 2 grabs for 32 yards. The Crabbers penalized 6 times for 45 yards, and that's something that's untypical of the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, early in the season, you're going to have little things that are going to go wrong. You're going to get miscounts. You're going to get a movement. That's happened to both teams tonight. As we saw Darnell Hollier and there's our twins, and those young ladies went down and ran some track down to Florida. We'll talk about a little later on, but they're the 2 young ladies, the Hamilton twins, that without them, Ronald or ESPN Baton couldn't get those sideline shots.
So the Kecoughtan Warriors trailing by 14 at halftime, but Bob, they're very much in this game. They were held completely in check offensively, but again, their defense did a good job in holding Hampton to just 2 touchdowns. But that's been indicative of this series in recent years, with the exception of that high-scoring 34-28 game. The last couple of games have been low-scoring affairs.
Well, but have been very close. And 14 points is not an unsurmountable lead. 21 would have been making you really think if you were Kecoughtan in the locker room. But I know both teams have made some slight adjustments. The defense for Kecoughtan's got to step up. They're going to have to make Hampton punt the ball. Hampton has not had to punt the ball at all tonight. And look who's back deep is Ronald Curry. So I'm sure they're going to try to keep it away from him.
He's trying to blend in, if you will. You notice how he's not standing all the way back deep. He's just kind of hanging out there between a couple of his teammates. And he will, in fact, get a chance to field the ball at the 18-yard line. And the Warriors stop him cold with a penalty flag on the play. So Curry got out maybe 4 yards, but a penalty on the play, a clipping call against the Crabbers.
Great job of coverage team that time by the Warriors. They were there, had all the speed on that side of the formation when they kicked off. You can see how quick they got down there. Took about 4 steps and boom, right there. Again, Keith Mann, number 3, just has been stepping up for the Warriors.
So the clipping penalty will be assessed against Hampton. Moving the ball all the way back to the 12-yard line.
Be half the distance to the goal, but one good thing about it is 1st and 10 and not 1st and 20 or whatever. Worst position that Hampton's had the ball tonight. I don't know where they have started before, but I know they've been knocked down inside the 20.
Ronald Curry will hand off to Jermaine Crawford, and Crawford out across the 15 to about the 17-yard line.
I'm impressed with this young man. He's a hard runner. Young man, 5'9", 170 senior, but really is a tough young man to bring down. As you said at one time, he just keeps his feet, keeps his legs moving all the time.
Gain of about 6 on the play. It's called 2nd down and about 4.
On the line.
Ball at the 18. Crowd kind of quiet here as they are anticipating some fireworks. Ronald Curry on the delay to Crawford, and Crawford is out across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. He will apparently have enough for the 1st down.
That little draw play works real good when you got somebody can throw the ball as well as Ronald Curry. You've got to drop back into the flat and zone coverage as the Warriors will play zone and man-to-man. And that just opens up that zone. You get some good blocking from your offensive line, and good yardage pickup that time by
Crawford. Now 8 carries for a total of 43 yards in the ball game. Curry on the pitch to his cousin Almondo. Muffin Curry breaks 1 tackle out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
And right on the tackle again, Keith Mann, number 3. You will see him. He just plays all over this field. His good eye for where to go, playing that inside linebacker. That young man, when he gets the ball, very excited, isn't he?
Gain of 9 on that last play. 2nd down and a yard to go. 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and now we have an official stoppage for equipment. And it looks like they're going to bring the young man Purvis Tillery over to the sideline. He might have cut his lip or something. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking at, but he's back in the ball game. The officials always cognizant of the safety of the players, and that's a very positive thing that they do. 2nd and a yard. And it'll be 1st down as the ball is taken out to about the 34-yard line.
Well, right now you've got Gregory Edwards, number 54, playing a guard. Adam Lively at a center. Number 77, Raymond Mann is a tackle. I mean, a guard, and then William Harris, 60, and Jarrett and Jarrett Green is the other tackle. Those 5 interior linemen doing a good job for the Crabbers.
How come you're so much taller than me?
Well, that's because I wanted to get ahead in life.
All right, they mark it at the 35, 1st down for the Crabbers. And this is Gunter, right side. Plenty of yardage out close to midfield. In fact, he is into Kecoughtan territory before the ball squirts loose. But again, a 1st down for the Crabbers.
And the ball went out of bounds at it looks like about the 44 of the Warriors.
They'll mark it inside the 45, just inside. Another 1st down for Hampton. So the Crabbers continue to control the ball game as they've had the ball since the 2nd half kickoff and have worn 2.5 minutes off of it and have another first down.
And you know, that's really a tribute to the defensive secondary of the Warriors, that you're not passing the ball more.
This is Jermaine Crawford, and Crawford down to about the 41-yard line, a pickup of 4.
Finally brought down by number 75, Terrence Davis, 6'2". Listen to this young man, 6'2", 278, ninth grader. I'd hate to have to pay his food bill.
Gain of about 3 on the play, second down and about 7. The pitch to Muffin Curry. He's stacked up, struggling to get more yardage. A late flag comes down as the ball is marked inside the 40, but a penalty on the play. I know why it's so
Tim,
quiet.
that wasn't Muffin. That again was Jermaine Crawford, number 5, yeah.
Clip again, the penalty call against the Crabbers.
That has been happening more than once tonight. That's at least the 3rd one that's been called on the Crabbers.
Second here in the second half alone. So the big penalty is marked off all the way back to the Hampton 46. Clipping the call.
That's almost 20, about 19 yards that they have to go, isn't it? My math right?
Right at 20 yards. Still second down, but now instead of 2nd and 7, it's 2nd and 20. In motion is Crawford. Out of the shotgun, Curry wants it wide open is Crawford and can't hold on to it. It's so wide open on the far sideline, but couldn't hold on to the football.
And I don't know if he was trying to make sure he didn't step out of bounds or what happened, but somebody blew the coverage. Him coming out of the backfield, nobody picked him up, was wide open.
And of course, nobody feels worse about that than Mr. Crawford, and it happens to everybody. I don't care.
And
whether
we got another penalty.
I don't care whether you're a high school player or a pro player. And a penalty, illegal use of the hands, holding against the Crabbers. So another large mark off. This one all the way back inside the 31. So actually they mark it right at the 30. And they need to go all the way to the Kecoughtan 35-yard line. So
and I'm not going to add that up.
With a little help from the scoreboard, it's 2nd and 36. 3 penalties for 37 yards so far just in the second half. And that was close to being face guarding against the Hampton offensive player.
That was Jay Brown. He was going for the ball. Good call, no flag. I mean,
I didn't say it wasn't, but no. It was close to it.
Yeah, but it was both players going for the ball.
Where I could have seen the call could have been made is it looked like Brown did not turn around and put his hands up. He kept his head forward with his hands up as if he were possibly defending on the play. So the incomplete pass makes it 3rd and 36. There you see the scoreboard, tells you the story of the visitors, the Hampton Crabbers, leading by a 2-touchdown score. Brown comes wide to the near side, and now a stoppage of play. And we've got people in and out of the sideline for Kecoughtan. Now I think they've finally got it straightened out.
Yeah, number 22 didn't want to come off, Sean McGinnis.
Interesting that the officials let them do that rather than penalize them.
Oh, what a catch.
Illegal substitution as Bobby Blizzard makes the grab. And
he may be hurt.
Blizzard's still down. He may have suffered a cramp. Let's hope that that's the worst of it. And still no one has come to his aid as he is sitting on the ground in some discomfort.
Well, I would think Diane Lemrick would be over there if there was...
Well, now she finally makes her way over there, and Blizzard is able to finally get up on his own. I think he suffered a cramp.
That's probably what it was. He really went up to catch that ball.
Probably extended himself and might have pulled a muscle. Oh, there you see him now, dwarfing Diane Lemrick.
Yeah, and then you can see it just knotted up on him again, that right calf.
Yep. So hopefully that's all it is a cramp. But Bobby on the receiving end of that pass, not enough for the first down. It brings up 4th down and about 6.
Well,
Lizard now with 3 catches for 57
watch
yards.
Hampton try to draw him offside. Nope.
No hard count. Oh, incomplete as Jay Brown was the intended receiver on the quick slant. And the ball thrown a little too tall for Mr. Brown, and it'll go over on down. So Hampton unable to sustain the drive. They had the ball for let's see, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And interestingly, because of the penalties, never got any further than the Kecoughtan 40.
I don't want to complain about the ball players, but Tim, Jay Brown that time probably didn't run through his pattern. He stopped and jumped up and tried. If you run your pattern, like if you remember how good the young man Ahmad Hawkins did, he would run through his pattern and Ronald would get the ball to it.
So on downs, the Warriors take it at their 41-yard line, and they desperately need to get the offense untracked.
And that was 20 carrying the ball that time.
Forte carrying the ball, the fullback.
That young man, Tim, they're real high on him. 225 sophomore. Big guy to bring down.
Seems like he's been playing with them for about 3 years.
Well, it just seems like that.
Was there another Chuck Forte?
I don't think so.
Played as a freshman last year, I guess.
Must have been, because we got him down as a sophomore.
Snap was bobbled for a moment. Quillen pitches to Carlton Morant, and he drives across the 45 to the 47.
Well, that was a scary thing. If you're a Warrior, you thought, oh my goodness, about to lose the handle on the ball again. And I don't know if that's the exchange from center or if he's just losing it as he's getting ready to make his move. That was a option play that time. A little bit of what Hampton plays. Every now and then you'll see him throw an option, try to keep you honest.
47-yard line, 3rd down and 3. They need to get across midfield for a first. And Carlton Morant apparently has it. If they give him the mark where it appears to be, he will have just gotten the first down at the 49.
And is that their only second first down of the game?
If it is a first down, it will be just their second of the ball game. They had just one in the first half. It looks to me that it is a first down, and Nick will bring the chains across.
Oh yeah, he's got him at least half a football.
And we've got a shaken up Kecoughtan Warrior. That's Carlton Morant, who is also perhaps suffering from a cramp. But yeah, that's clearly a first down. Yep. So they mark the ball just across midfield, and the Warriors get just their second first down of the ball game, and we're at 6:21 of the 3rd quarter. That's how well they've been defensed by this Hampton defense.
Well, Howard Dunlap is coming in. I don't know if he's replacing Carlton Morant. No, he's not, but he's coming in for Kiko Richmond. Who's in that backfield now with looks like number 6?
That's Antonio Palmer, a junior, along with Forte in the backfield. Quillen wants to pass, has time. The offensive line does a great job. Got a man open, and it's underthrown, tipped twice, and incomplete, as the last Warrior to touch it was Willie Sherman, number 81.
And he was behind everybody.
But there were 2 offensive receivers in the same zone. And it looks like Haggard, number 4, was out on the pattern.
Right, and Ronald Curry playing that safety position came over and went up to try to intercept it. It was just a little higher than he could jump that time. So well, now that kind of pass will open up a draw play.
Incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10. Quillen, rolling pocket, looking to run. Cuts it across the middle and gets close to another first down at the 40-yard line. It'll be very close.
Well, the tackle that time shoved him over the 40.
Depends on where they mark the ball. It looks like they'll mark it just short of a first down. They need to get across the 40, and they're on the wrong side of the 40 for the first down. So it brings up 3rd down and less than a yard. They need to get to about the 29 to assure themselves of another first down. And I'd have to think at this point in the game, this is 4-down territory for them. So the Kecoughtan faithful now with something to cheer about as their offense is starting to get a little untracked. And that is a first down as Quillen dives to the 37.
And he remembers last year at that same play, he didn't get across the goal line as time ran out. That quarterback keeper, and he picked up, looked like almost 3 yards on that play.
As you look at the huge crowd on hand, that's the Kecoughtan side of the field, the home side. A packed house tonight, standing room only.
The only open area is where the band went to get something to eat.
Thank goodness for that. And that's no reflection on the quality of the band. I think the Kecoughtan band is one of the best. Here we go. The completed pass to number 81, Willie Sherman.
Oh, Sherman, that's right. Willie, 6'4", 215 junior.
That is the first completed pass officially of the ballgame. You and I saw a pass called an incomplete pass in the first quarter that we still don't know for sure why it was called an incomplete pass. And I don't think Kurt Newsom knows why either. Second down and about 3.5, let's call it 2nd and 4. The Warriors starting to get the ball movement. And this is Quillen. He will be close to a first down at the 27. The officials stop the clock to look it over.
Well, it looks like to me Jovan Quillen is just kind of taking it on himself to do something here.
And
pick up some first down and get this team moving.
So the Warriors put back-to-back first downs together. And they have it now with the deepest penetration of the ball game at the Hampton 27-yard line. 3:44 remaining in the third quarter. All the scoring by Hampton in the first quarter as they scored 2 touchdowns. This is Carlton Morant, and Morant will not get the corner as he was stopped by the shirt tail, literally, by Darnell Hollier and others.
I thought it was number 11, Alfonso Gunner, that came up and grabbed a hold of him.
It might have been. It looked to me like Darnell Hollier got off the pile, but you're absolutely right. It could have been Gunter.
He really did a great job. He couldn't get a shot at him, so he got a hold of the jersey.
Here's the replay. Let's see if it was, in fact, number 11. Yes, it was. You're absolutely right, Eagle Eye. Gain of about a yard on the play, or a half a yard. And now we've got an official stoppage of play. And a timeout has been called by Kecoughtan.
You want to make sure, you're in a situation where you don't want to make any mistakes. You want to make sure the play call, and you want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter now, with Kecoughtan driving and trailing only by 14 points. So a touchdown here and an extra point makes it a 1-score ball game. And this would be very indicative of what we have seen in the past. Good crowd on hand, enjoying beautiful weather tonight. The temperature now very comfortably in probably the low 70s, and just absolutely perfect with no threat of rain. And the crowd has been treated to a good ball game, both offensively as well as defensively. Kecoughtan next week will take on the Phoebus Phantoms right here at Darling Stadium. Game time is 7:30 next Friday night. That'll be the 12th of September. And we encourage you to come out and support your favorite team and then watch the game here on Channel 5 in the comfort of your home a couple of days later. 2nd and 10.
Hear the crowd on this side.
That's right, next day coverage, I should say. Quillen. And he is grabbed from behind, flagged down on the play.
Well, that was Hollier that time that got him from behind.
Penalty flag on the play. A loss of a yard or 2. Let's see how they call the penalty. Holding against the offense, so that will hurt.
Well, Tim, at this point, is 3rd and long, or do you give him 2nd and
longer?
Well, see, from the point of the infraction, you're only going to come back. You're only going to pick up maybe 6 yards.
See if we can pick up the holding. I don't see it.
No, it's behind us. There was a hit in the back.
They will take the penalty. Anytime you can move your opponent 15 yards away from the goal line, you will usually do so and give up a down in that favor, or 10 yards at least. So the 10-yard penalty is marked off, and it puts the ball back to the 38-yard line. Down remains second down, but now instead of second and short, you've got second and about 20. Quillen feels some pressure, sets up the screen. Carlton Morant gets away from one would-be tackler, but not a second one, as again Darnell Hollier makes the stop.
What a job he's playing defensively.
First man to make contact was number 77, Raymond Mann. Slowed him down just a little bit, and then Hollier finished the tackle.
Boy, is it going to be tough to pick the player of the game tonight.
It is, as always.
We're having people step up both sides of the ball for both teams. And you could look at the Mann brothers, Keith Mann and Raymond Mann. I don't know if any relation. The two Currys.
Yep. 34-yard line, third down and 15. Gain of 4 on that last play. Quillen again has time. Throws in the vicinity of Haggard. Haggard can't hold on.
Oh, he was wide open. I don't know where the coverage was.
They were late getting there. They had triple coverage for Hampton. Ronald Curry was there, along with number 15, and that is Hakeem Zarif. And also out on the defensive coverage was Gunter.
But they didn't get over there until the ball got there, which was
here's your
Marshall Haggard. And Marshall is kind of upset that he didn't come out with that ball. But the ball is in the air. And we can't see it at that point, but 3 grabbers finally got there.
Fourth down and 15 as the Warriors trying to keep this drive alive. Quillen is creamed as he lets it go. He's got a man open. He's got a touchdown.
And that looks like Dunlop, 24. Howard Dunlop. Nice touch on the ball by Quillen, and we have somebody hurt out on the field for the Warriors.
That is Quillen as he took a vicious, clean shot as he let the ball go by number 75, Jared Green, as Green lowered the boom on him cleanly as it was. And now they're attending to him. He may have also just suffered a cramp. Well, hopefully that's all.
What it is.
Well, no, he's coming up, and he's going to be limping off the field. And he's not putting any pressure on the ball. That was Dunlap who made that nice grab at the goal line, Howard Dunlap. And that is a huge play on 4th and 15. A 34-yard pass to Dunlap from Quillen. The kick is up, and it is good. So
that's Haggard making the point after.
On a crucial 4th down and 15, Jovan Quillen sacrificed his body to complete the pass at the goal line to Howard Dunlap to make the game a 1-touchdown difference. The big question here will be, is Quillen rather, going to be able to come back in? Here's the replay. Don't know if we'll get a chance to see the hit on the quarterback. No, didn't see it from there, but I'll tell you, I saw it, and he got creamed. It was a good, clean contact. And there you see, at the goal line, Howard Dunlap with a defender on his back makes the touchdown grab from 34 yards out.
Well, and what could hurt the Warriors is Quillen is very instrumental in their defensive secondary themselves. And if he can't come back out right away, and it looks like they're working on his leg, and it does look like a cramp.
Oh, I hope so, rather than a break, because that would be just devastating. It looks like they're treating it as a cramp, trying to stretch it out. A short, bobbling kick is fielded by Curry at the 25-yard line.
And we got flags down. He was on his back and was hit after he was down, so we're going to get a 15 yards added to that.
Almondo Curry, right? Muffin Curry making the reception of the kick. And I think that penalty was illegal
Spearing.
Spearing contact?
Well, I think it may have been spearing, or he tapped his helmet, but it's a big one. It's 15-yarder.
So the touchdown, a 34-yard touchdown pass from Quillen to Dunlap. The extra point was kicked by Mark Tunstall, and it's a 14-7 contest with the Crabbers benefiting from the penalty.
Again, I thought Marshall Haggard kicked the ball for the extra point. I'm not sure, but I believe he did.
Checking with my statistician, Bob said, I don't know. He thinks it was Tunstall, but it could have been Haggard, and we'll double check on that.
And that was Gunner that time on the carry, was hit at the line of scrimmage and still picked up 3 yards.
Second down and 7 at the Hampton 45-yard line as Kecoughtan, with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go in the third quarter now, has made a one-touchdown game out of this as Ronald Curry dives for the first down. And we'll see exactly where they mark his forward progress. Looks short.
Yeah, about a yard short from where he came down. And but Hampton, just got to play under control. Don't try to do some things that you're not ready to do. Just play what you've been doing. You've been very successful running the ball and keeping it out of Kecoughtan's hands. Almost the end of the third quarter.
Little more than a half a minute to go in the third. Ball is at the Kecoughtan 49. They need to get to the 48 for the first. Third down and a yard. Ronald Curry gives right side. Jermaine Crawford is inside the 45 for a first down.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm impressed with the way Crawford is running that ball tonight.
So that was likely to be the last play of the third quarter as they stop him at the 43-yard line, and the ball is placed ready for play. They may get one more off. I'm not sure. In any event, the Hampton offense now responding to the challenge after Kecoughtan has made it a 14-7 game. And again, memories are real long. The last time Hampton lost a game, it was to this Kecoughtan team. And as the third quarter ends, Jermaine Crawford gets the carry with little or no gain. Looks like he was stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And that is the end of the third quarter. Our score, the Hampton Crabbers 14, the Kecoughtan Warriors 7. And we'll be returning here with the fourth quarter of action.
Well, that was 82 that made that tackle, Stafford Brown. Oh.
Was it Tunstall? Yeah, it was Tunstall who kicked the extra point.
Well, maybe Haggard was the holder.
He might have, well, that's true, because I think Quillen usually holds. So
well, that's what I thought, but since he was on the sideline with the cramp, maybe that's why I saw Haggard back there, was the holder.
"12 minutes remaining in this contest." Quillen is on the ball, right?
I don't know if he's on the ball or not, but I think what he's trying to tell us is he needs that big a ball when he golfs.
So as the fourth quarter gets set to start, the Crabbers will have it second down and 10 at the Kecoughtan 42. Started to allude to the fact that the last time Hampton tasted defeat was right here at Darling Stadium against this very same opponent. Kecoughtan remembers.
How many games ago was that?
28 games ago. And 2 state championships ago. Hampton looking for a three-peat this year. Curry rolled right into the defender, got away from him, sidestepped another one, and another one, and another one, and finally gets dragged down at the 28-yard line. That'll be a first down.
Now the guy that finally got him around the ankles was Lloyd Davis, one of the cornerbacks. He's only 5'10", 155, but he got Ronald around the ankles.
Marlon Hicks slow to get up.
And does, in fact. So they'll restart the clock as the official has 15 yards on the play by Curry. The official saw him slow to get up and thought he needed a medical timeout, but he was able to get up and be okay. Again, these players starting to cramp up a little bit here.
Well, a lot of them are playing both ways.
The pitch goes to Armando Curry, and he is driven to the ground by who else?
Hey, Keith Mann.
Keith Mann. He has been all over the field, as you've said, Bob.
I am so impressed with the way that young man plays that linebacker spot for the Warriors.
He's not real big, but boy, he is quick. He's 5'10", 185 pounds, just a junior. But he has great instinct to the ball. He really goes to the ball.
Well, and playing that inside linebacker, he's got certain keys that he's looking at, whether it's in the backfield or on the line. But he saw that play develop from the get, and he just went where Muffin was going to be.
Loss of a couple of yards on the play. 2nd down and a dozen. Out of the shotgun, Curry on the quarterback draw. Waits for the seam to open up, and then he goes up the middle for about 7. Brings up a 3rd down for the Crabbers. 3rd down and about 5. 10:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. If you joined us late, this is Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, coming to you from Darling Stadium. Packed house tonight for the Hampton Crabbers. Their 2nd game of the season, I should say. They defeated Heritage in their 1st game, and now a timeout has been called by Hampton.
Well, but this is the initial opening contest for the Warriors.
Right.
They were off last week. They had the 1st round bye.
In any event, the Crabbers scored in the 1st quarter with a minute, I'll get it right yet, 4:33 to go in the 1st, with Ronald Curry capping the drive with a 1-yard sneak off of the left side. Jimmy Boonrong put on the extra point to make it 7-0, and then Muffin Armando Curry, Ronald Curry's cousin, ran from 25 yards out. Boonrong again with the extra point, and that's how we were until halftime. 14-0 in favor of the Crabbers. In the 3rd quarter, with 1:47 remaining, Howard Dunlap took a 34-yard pass from Jovan Quillen into the end zone, and Mark Tunstall added the extra point, and that's where we stand, 14-7. And I look around, I do not see Quillen on the bench or on the ground as he had been. So hopefully he is either back in the game or ready to come back in. Let's see if we can find him. Ronald Curry gets a nice block, has some time. Got a man wide open at the 5-yard line. Flag down. Crawford down to the 1, but a penalty flag is down.
Illegal, maybe an ineligible receiver downfield. That's what they're calling.
So when your quarterback scrambles around, some of those linemen will drift downfield. Here's the replay. Curry picks up a good block there, throws and completes it to Crawford, and he struggles to the 1, but that'll be wiped out by the penalty. So penalties have really played a big role in the Hampton offense tonight.
It really has. I couldn't tell who from the replay if the lineman was downfield, but you have one of the officials is staying right on the line of scrimmage, and he's going to notice if one of those ineligible receivers get downfield.
So the penalty, instead of a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, the Crabbers now with the ball at the Kecoughtan 27-yard line, and it's 3rd down and about 10.
Well, and you almost have to guess that the Crabbers have two downs to get the 1st down.
Well, they haven't kicked the ball yet tonight, have they?
No, and from this point, I don't know if it might be too far for a field goal.
Curry back to pass. Over the middle, got Bobby Blizzard. He's got the grab at the 11-yard line. That'll be a 1st down. So Blizzard, a huge target at 6'6", 250. Ronald Curry had no problem finding him, and Ronald put it right in his hands, and Blizzard made no mistake.
You look at the defensive backs, there's nobody that, was within 5 inches of that young man, and you're right, not only tall, but wide.
So the Crabbers with a 3rd down and long convert on the first, get a fresh set of downs with 9:08 to go in the 4th quarter. And on the draw play, not much happening there as the defense stepped up nicely. The draw play to Monago, and another penalty flag, illegal procedure against Hampton. So they have just, I'll have to check with Bob and see if we can find out how many penalties they've had, but they've had a ton so far in the ballgame. We'll have that statistic for you in a moment here.
Well, was it before the play, or will they take the down? Are they going to make them go further away, which will be 1st and 15?
So we apologize. We had given Mr. Makula, our referee, a microphone tonight, but unfortunately we've had some technical problems with that. So we'll hopefully get it all squared away for the next one. As our director, Mr. Bowers, we haven't talked about our crew for tonight. We got to
talk about our crew.
Yeah, good crew, good crew.
We talked about the sideline people, but
bring
that was
me
it.
Food, crew. Penalties for 107 yards against the Hampton Crabbers tonight. So that will not make Mike Smith and the coaching staff a bunch of happy campers.
Who do we have on camera? We got ESPN Baton, we got Nathaniel Braxton, and one of Scotty's other daughters.
Scotty's other daughter, that's what she goes by. What is your young daughter's name, Scotty?
Call her Sarah or Susan, huh?
Her name is Sarah, but everybody calls her Susan.
And of course we got Bianca. I'm getting over Cole Petaway, and Bev, I've got the flu pen in the truck doing the slow motion. Of course, Scotty Bauer is the main man.
Hopefully Bev and Bianca will feel better tomorrow. They were not feeling very well. Loose ball. Scramble. Let's see who got it. No signal yet. Still no signal. And now they say Hampton keeps possession.
It looks like number 5 for the Crabbers came up with the ball. That would be Jermaine Crawford. What a scary play if you're the Crabbers. And with Kecoughtan, you're thinking, man, what a good chance for us to stop this drive and get the ball back.
3rd down and 12 at the 14. Here's your replay. You're going to see that Crawford just never had the ball. He ended up being the one to recover it. The only time he got the ball on that play was when it was most crucial that he have it. That was on the fumble recovery. Ronald Curry rolling to his left, looking in the end zone. Still looking, now decides to run. Gets by a couple of would-be tacklers and finally steps out of bounds inside the 5.
Well, that'll bring up a 4th down, and he didn't make the 1st down, did he?
No, I don't believe so. All right, we're going to return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of this contest after this brief timeout. Ronald Curry, as he gets to the line of scrimmage, looks over the defense. Calls timeout. He knew we were just barely ready to come back. See?
Well, I think really what they're trying to do is draw the Warriors offside, but the Warriors also use that, and they're not going to give them any chance.
So Hampton uses their 2nd timeout here in the 2nd half. They have 1 remaining with exactly 7 minutes left in the ball game, or I should say regulation time, because we will tell you that if the game ends in a tie, there will be overtime.
Well, that's what happened 3 years ago with these same teams.
And who scored the winning touchdown, 34-28? Was that?
And that was Ronald Curry, and I believe that was his first running touchdown in his high school career.
That's what I read in the paper.
That's the reason I'm saying that, because Mike Keach wouldn't lie to us.
Mr. Mike Keach has never lied to us. Fine writer over at the Daily Press. Had a nice article about the Curry Blizzard Hollier sighting. All right, 4th down and 3. Curry on the option pitch. Crawford, touchdown.
Crawford just put his head down and went in.
As is that a penalty flag or a towel?
No, it's just a towel now.
Okay.
It's not yellow.
All right, so from 6 yards out, Kenny Crawford, I knew I was going to do it sooner or later. Jermaine Crawford gets the touchdown on the pitch from Ronald Curry. And now Boonrong will try out of Muffin Curry's hold to make it 21-7. Kick is up, it's long enough, and it's no good. Wide to the left.
Hold it just a little.
So the touchdown comes with 6 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, now if you're Kecoughtan, Tim, you have to score quick, and you got to kick it onside and hope you get it back.
The Warriors have 2 timeouts remaining. The Crabbers have 1 timeout remaining. Here's the touchdown for you again. On the pitch, Crawford, and he just bowled his way in, bowling over a couple of
And I thought Mike Smith told me that he wouldn't pitch it if he got down there. But I tell you, Kecoughtan was not prepared for that play.
Mike Smith always with the element of surprise. I don't care what the game is. We have seen 100 different occasions over the years when we knew what they were going to do, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. I'm batting over trying to guess what Mike and his staff is going to do.
The Warriors number 21, Carlton Moran.
That's why they're down there, and that's why we're up here.
That's exactly why.
So the Crabbers put the insurance score on the board. They had just a 7-point lead, but with that touchdown on a 4th down and 3, hard to stop. Ronald Curry and company. Again, a relatively short kick, fielded at the 21-yard line.
That's number 6 for the, and I thought 8 was going to take it, but as on Antonio Palmer, Lloyd Davis almost went back and got in his way.
All the way out to the 40-yard line. So Kecoughtan now with 2 timeouts and 6 minutes and 44 seconds remaining.
You know they're going to put the ball in there. They almost have to.
77, Raymond Mann.
And Quillen, I'm very happy to say, is back in the ball game at quarterback. So he was able to get relief for that cramp he was suffering. And he's back in the ball game. Passes to Haggard. Haggard's got it at the 47-yard line and then is bulldogged to a stop at the 47, maybe the 48.
Akeem Zarif.
Make it 47.
Get on the tackle or the stop. But they really played off Haggard that time. Had a lot of space between him and the defensive back.
Clock continues to move now with 6:15 and the clock ticking away against the Warriors. Quillen gives left side to Carlton Morant for a yard, maybe.
He did not pick up the first down, and that's what Kecoughtan wanted to do, get a quick first down, stop the clock. But he looks like he's a good yard short.
Third down and a yard. The Warriors need to get squarely to midfield to get the first. And Quillen will keep it and get a first down at the Hampton 48-yard line. So a very nice deceptive move by Quillen to move the chains and get a fresh set of downs. Now they'll do the hurry up as they stop the clock to give the first down marker. Quillen back to pass. Flag is down. May not have had everybody set. Throws it up for grabs. Ronald Curry picks it off. Curry Still running.
Had an extra player on the field.
Curry just simply finally runs out of bounds, but a penalty flag down, so this will be a very interesting call. If it goes against Hampton, it'll give Kecoughtan a definite second life here.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Nope.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, no. He called an illegal procedure against the Warriors.
And needless to say, the Crabbers will decline the penalty.
that baby.
Illegal procedure on the offense is declined.
It is illegal procedure.
First down.
We finally heard from him. Well, this happened to us a couple of games. What was it? During the All-Star game, we didn't have any sound.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
Boom, yep.
Gremlins left.
Gremlins left.
Man.
Isn't that something? Mick finally gets the mic to work and he blows the call.
It's the end of the game.
And he blows the call to boot.
He couldn't figure out the kicking team. Ain't nobody kicking the ball, Mick.
Oh, and we're having a little fun at Mr. McCoola's expense. He's a real good guy. And
man, just took the ball right out.
Marlon Hicks. Marlon Hicks with the football all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Marlon Hicks took the ball right out of the running back's hand. Whoa. I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you ever seen that?
I'm not sure who had the ball. We'll watch the replay. Here it is. Now that's the first time he's carried the ball tonight. That is number 32 for the Crabbers. That's Kente Lewis. And that ball stolen right out of his hands.
By Marlon Hicks.
Marlon Hicks. And Marlon said, hey, no, I may not make it to the end zone, but no one's going to take the ball away from me. He was determined to hold on to the pigskin. So now Kecoughtan with fresh life here. Quillen wants to run and cannot turn the corner as he is caught from behind by Darnell Hollier.
There's another young man who's really played a good game tonight.
Yeah, our choices for player of the game are tough, and tougher.
Well, I tell you right now, Kecoughtan, I'm leaning towards Keith Mann. I just think he is just playing an outstanding game. Hampton, I'm going to kind of do this.
Gonna put it in my lap?
Oh, well, you might say I passed the ball over to you.
There you go. Second down and 8. As all of a sudden the Kecoughtan team and the band comes alive. Quillen right down. This time a late flag comes in.
That's 74 for the Warriors.
That's Jermaine Southern.
And they're real high on that young man. 6'2", 190 junior.
Well, I thought I saw a penalty flag, but I think it was just a marker to indicate where the forward progress was, so no penalty on the play. The loss all the way back to the 18-yard line, or 17 at least. And it brings up third down and 13. Quillen unloads, and it's incomplete. Flag down on the play.
We got an illegal receiver downfield, one of the Kecoughtan Warriors. I'm not going to give you his number, but I see who he was. He was way past the line of scrimmage, Tim. He was a good 7 yards down the line, across the line of scrimmage. Going down to block, he knew that he was out there looking for a run.
Always tough when your quarterback scrambles like that because you want to stay behind the line, but by the same token, if it is a run, you want to give him some downfield blocking.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. Decline. Fourth down.
So it brings up fourth down and 13. And for all intents and purposes is the ball game here if Kecoughtan can't keep this drive alive. On the fade pattern, Ronald Curry steps up, picks it off. He's got some running room down the sideline. He's got one man to beat, and that's Quillen. Quillen gets a great block on Quillen.
And that was number 77 for the Crabbers, Tim. Raymond Mann. Whoa.
Quillen had the angle on him, and Mann just planted Quillen and enabled Ronald Curry to return the interception 100 yards.
Well, I might say 102 because he was a little deep in the end zone.
Yep. 102 yards.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
You're right.
Where's that picture about you on the ball?
So if there wasn't a nail in the Kecoughtan coffin, that one did it. As with Ronald Curry, you just can't float a wounded duck like that up there because he will hurt you every time. And Ronald Curry, speaking of hurt, I don't think he's more than perhaps winded, but he is down on his back in the end zone. Now, that's not where he ended up after the touchdown, but having gone over to the center of the field,
he may have knocked the wind out of himself when he did that little flip.
Or one of his teammates may have hurt him too. A 102-yard interception return by Ronald Curry. That's his second touchdown of the ball game. Here is the replay. Now watch this. He might even be 3 yards back there, Bob.
Well, at least 2.
Now watch this. You're going to see downfield 77 right here leading the block. Great block on Quillen, and then Ronald Curry just coasted into the end zone, did the somersault into pay dirt, and apparently is all right now as he will be going off the field under his own steam. NFL Films here doing a bit on Ronald Curry, and I might tell you why I asked during halftime. I asked NFL Films why, is Ronald coming out early to go to the NFL? But they have a kids segment that they do on national television, and that will be airing on television before too long. I'm sure the local press will be able to tell us when. An unofficial date of October the 16th for that. I understand it's supposed to be a 7-minute segment on Ronald Curry about things he's done in the past. So that will be forthcoming, and that's why you may have seen on a couple of occasions a cameraman along with a microphone carrier waiting to get comments. So, of course, NFL Films does a spectacular job of film coverage in the NFL.
They really do. I'm going with Keith Mann for the Buckwalder engraving, DC engraving, Island of Hardware Sporting Goods Player of the Game for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
And I'll just make it easy on myself here. We'll just go with Ronald Curry as the player of the game for the Hampton Crabbers with a not his best effort overall. We've certainly seen him do more things with the ball in an entire game, but certainly significant stuff.
Well, I tell you, you got to look at Green. Green's done a great job defensively. Raymond Mann's done a great job.
Yes.
Collier, outstanding on defense. If I was going to go with anybody other than Ronald Curry, I think I would go with Darnell Hollier. But I'll defer to your selection.
Yeah, and I agree with you. A case can be made for several other players. So the Crabbers, yes. The crowd electrified by the Ronald Curry interception return. Now this is Palmer again. Palmer with some good moves to get to the outside. Another good move, still on his feet to the 37-yard line. So Antonio Palmer with a good-looking return for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Jermaine Southern finally made the tackle.
Well, the Warriors had things going their way for a moment. They had a chance, but that interception return pretty much took the air out of this team and the crowd.
I think Mick's whistle, his mic is working. I just got my sinuses flushed.
From the 36-yard line. And now we have penalty flags and whistles. 2:54 left in regulation. 27-7.
So it's a substitution. Substitution infraction on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Dead ball. Yeah.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
That's right.
Substitution infraction on the defense. 1st down and 5.
So Mick Finally has his mic working, and I think our return is finally working. I'm not sure, or maybe it's just my ears got cleaned out with that whistle.
I was going to say, may had something to do with that.
I saw some wax go flying across the room. Handoff inside goes to Chuck Forte, and he struggles for a couple of yards. I do not see Ronald Curry out on defense for the Crammers, so he may have been shaken up a little bit on that play. In fact, I know he was shaken up. Now, whether he's just through the precautionary procedures right now staying out of the game, it's hard to keep him off the field. Pass is picked off.
Hakeem Zarif.
Zarif still on his feet, finally taken down at about the 38-yard line where the Crammers will have it. And that will wrap it up for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Some of the guys here who do such a great job of preparing the field for competition here at Darling Stadium. Speaking of that, we do want to thank the folks here at Darling Stadium, as always, for their assistance and help.
Larry Malloy and his crew always do a great job of helping us out, keeping things straight.
How's Larry doing anyway? Is he back to work yet?
Oh, yeah, he came back. He missed, what was it, the All-Star contest.
Yeah.
He was under the weather, but he's okay now.
And another penalty, delay of the game, will be called against Hampton.
Offense. Repeat the down. First down, 15.
117 yards and penalties in the ball game for the Crammers.
And that's a lot of yards to overcome, but explosive this Crabber team is. Didn't hurt them tonight.
You never know, because that doesn't tell the whole story. And now we've got a substitution at quarterback, as
another penalty
for the Crammers now is number 11, Gunter, moves over from the running back position to a quarterback. Actually, in the program or in the roster, he's listed as a quarterback.
Repeat the down.
Defensive end.
Still first down.
He is a backup quarterback.
As well as the fullback, as well as the defensive end.
I think you're right, Scotty.
Just a sophomore. Bursting up the middle, a good yardage, close to a first down, is Jermaine Crawford.
Illegal motion. Offense.
And we got a penalty again against the Hampton Crammers.
Well, you got a different quarterback in there, a little different cadence. That could be a factor.
Crawford with a big burst up the middle.
Illegal motion on the offense. Repeat the down. Repeat the down.
So to mark it at the Hampton 46-yard line. A minute 50 left in the ball game. And some of the overflow crowd has made it to the exits. And another penalty. So it's Flag Day at Darling Stadium all of a sudden. And they'll mark off some yardage against Kecoughtan.
Substitution infraction on the defense. Too many on the field.
So too many players on the field for Kecoughtan.
5 yards. First down, 20.
Just some quick statistics for you.
Wrap up the Gillen's got his abacus working tonight, huh?
Yep, Bobby Blizzard, 4 catches in the ball game as Crawford gets the call again for a total of 73 yards. Ronald Curry rushed for 94 yards, passed for another 103 yards, and of course the interception return for 102 yards. And that gives him 7 touchdowns in the 2 ball games.
How many total yards was he responsible for?
Looks to be about 197 yards rushing and passing, and then another 102 on the intercept. So about almost 300 yards total if you include the big interception return. 304 to be exact. And the Hampton player went down hard. Looks like he might have been shaken up.
Well, that's Gunter.
Yeah, he was instantly in pain as he hit the ground, so hopefully it's nothing serious. But he is in some discomfort. And in fact, Marlon Hicks also being attended to. So late in the game, these cramps.
Yeah, it looks like a cramp on Marlon's spot. I don't know about the Gunter.
Here's your replay. You're going to see Gunter coming right at you, and he took a pretty good lick right there.
Oh, boom.
And Hicks went down as well. So both players being attended to. They're stretching out the leg of Hicks, and Gunter also being attended to. He'll have to come out.
They got a third quarterback over there?
I'm sure they do. Let's look down the roster here. Yeah, they got Jonathan Morse, who is also a sophomore, listed as a quarterback, number 12. So Marlon Hicks, as you see him on the ground, has had a very good game, not to mention the stolen ball trick he did a little earlier to give Kecoughtan a hope.
Oh, you see who's coming in? Jay Brown. Played quarterback last year with the Phantoms.
You got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're all right. Here we come.
All right, second time in a row we've had our sinuses cleared by Mr. Makula.
I couldn't even tell that time. It just wasn't echoing through my head.
So the Crabbers just trying to wear 29 seconds off the clock, have it down to 14 now, and barring some strange occurrence here, like another penalty, there will not be a stoppage of play, and that will do it as the final seconds are gone, and the Hampton Crabbers have continued their winning ways with a 27-7 convincing victory over a very stubborn Kecoughtan team.
Well, it wasn't until the fourth quarter that it was completely out of the Kecoughtan Warriors' hand, but congratulations to Keith Mann from the Kecoughtan Warriors and Ronald Curry from the Hampton Crabbers for being recognized as the player of the game. They will receive a plaque and a shirt.
So that's going to do it here from Darling Stadium. As you see on your screen, the Hampton Crabbers win number 29 in a row and win for the second consecutive years over their arch rival Kecoughtan Warriors as they win 27-7 over the Kecoughtan Warriors. For Bob Hintz and the entire Channel 5 crew and Bob Killen, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody. Tonight's broadcast has been underwritten by the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zooms, home of the Sub Club and the Bubba Club deal. By Dr. Bruce Fuller, dermatologist. Visit his new location in the Denby Medical Center.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By your Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, where they never have an overtime charge. And Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director.